Hey everyone, Hallie here at High Octane Cards with just a Sunday night quick review of today's, what was this called, the O'Reilly Auto Parts 253 at the Daytona International Speedway. Of course, we did have a first-time winner today with Christopher Bell, driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. Christopher becomes the fourth driver to win driving the number 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Of course, Tony Stewart got his first career win back in 1999. Then later, Joey Logano in 2009 at New Hampshire, and then Eric Jones in 2018 at Daytona. And now Christopher Bell at Daytona becomes the fourth first-time winner. Of course, Matt Kenseth did win in the 20 car, but it was not his first career win. Excuse me, Joey Logano was the runner-up. Joey got passed coming up for the white flag right before the chicane. Denny Hamlin had a strong run in third. He did win one stage and got one playoff point. Kurt Busch went for a wild ride mid-race, coming home fourth, and Brad Keselowski somehow got a fifth-place finish despite spending almost as much time off the track as he did on it. Kevin Harvick, who he ran about 15th, 16th all day, just kind of, didn't have a fast car, didn't handle well, whatever, came home sixth. A.J. Allmendinger came all the way from 34th to 7th for Kaulig's first top 10 in the Cup Series. Michael McDowell was 8th, last week's Daytona 500 winner. So Michael started the race with a flat tire on the first lap, fell all the way back to 40th, and rallied back to 8th place. So he now has back-to-back top 10 finishes, and he is only one of 4 drivers this year to finish in the top 10 in both races. Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, no big surprise there. Michael McDowell being the third, and the fourth one who finished in 9th spot, Ryan Preece. Of course, Ryan had 3 last-place finishes in the summer last year, and this team also does not have sponsorship for the full season, so hopefully this string of good runs they're having at the beginning of the year will help these guys get the funding they need to compete for the rest of the season. Of course, this is not a chartered team, and there were 2 non-chartered teams finishing in the top 10, A.J. Allmendinger and Ryan Preece. Alex Bowman did come home 10th, so good job for Alex Bowman. He did start in the 36th position after being involved in that crash. Other notables, Chase Elliott came home 21st. Chase led 44 laps, led the most of anybody during the race, and did win one stage. He did start from the pole, but got involved in a spin late in the race. Other drivers that encountered trouble, Ross Chastain crashed out after getting bumped by Ryan Blaney in NASCAR Turn 1. I think it was like Turn 8 on the road course, or Turn 10, something like that. Matt DiBenedetto had some engine issues and just all sorts of problems. He was involved in a couple incidents. Finished 37th. Tyler Reddick had an engine fire. He ran off track and took out one of the advertising signs and ripped out some, I'm guessing, oil lines out from underneath. Had a brief fire and that got put out. He was 38th. I'm just kind of looking through the, excuse me, the finishing order here, and most everybody else kind of finished where you would expect them to finish. Eric Almirola was 17th. Ryan Blaney's 15th. Not really any names popping out here that said this guy should have been higher, this guy should have been lower. Kyle Busch did have a decent run going, had a couple issues with some flat tires and an incident that at the start-finish line near the end relegated him to 35th place finish. One quick note about this, I was just kind of thinking about when was the last time that we had back-to-back first-time winners in NASCAR. 1999, September of 1999, when Tony Stewart won at Richmond and Joe Nemechek the following week at New Hampshire. That was the last time that 2 drivers had won races back-to-back for their first career wins. Prior to that, 1970, when Pete Hamilton won at Daytona and James Hilton won at Richmond. So Richmond is a little bit ways off on the schedule this year, but just kind of ironic that the last 2 times that happened before this, that the second race was Richmond, or at least the second race involved in that streak was Richmond. So you had the Joe Gibbs thing with 4 of their 5 drivers of the 20 have won their first career race, and now the first time in 22 years that drivers have won back-to-back races. So kind of for their first career wins. So really good way to start off the season. Congratulations to Christopher Bell and the Joe Gibbs team. Of course, this puts them in the playoffs. As long as, of course, everybody is saying, oh, McDowell and Bell are automatically in the playoffs. Well, 2 things have to happen. Number 1, they have to remain in the top 20 in driver points, which, barring, bad luck, those guys could fall out of the top 30. I think there's only 31 drivers that are running all the races this year. Now, I know there's 36 chartered teams, but a lot of teams float different drivers. But if Michael McDowell has 4 or 5 bad races over the next 24 races, he could be battling to stay in that 30th spot. Conversely, if this is a season where we have a lot of winners, let's say 17 or 18 drivers win the first 26 races, now you're going to start having drivers that have won that got bumped out just based on their points position alone. So 2 criteria have to be met for these guys. They're not guaranteed in the playoffs, even though everybody says you win and you're in. They still have to maintain a top 30 drivers' points position and be one of the top 16 drivers that have victories. If 17 drivers win and one of those guys is 17th out of the 17 drivers, sorry, you missed the playoffs. But that's just how that rolls. So anyway, the race itself, excuse me, I'm sorry, just a little, it's not congestion, I just have a dry cough that I can't get rid of. But at any rate, the race itself, I give it about a B minus grade if I'm going to grade it. The first stage I felt was a little bit boring, a little bit dry. The first couple laps, you had some action there with McDowell cutting a tire. There's 3 or 4 guys that had flat tires in the first 8 or 10 laps. The end of the stages, Chase Elliott won the first stage. He led most of the second stage, then got behind on a pit cycle when they had some trouble going from the right to the lefts. I think he ended up coming out of the pits about 7th or 8th, and just never could make his way back to the front. He did get back to the front, maybe 3rd or 4th spot, and then spun out, just tried too hard. He did get bumped by Denny Hamlin, but it was kind of a chain reaction thing, so relegated him to 21st place finish. Not really any major incidents. Kurt Busch could have had a big one when he went sliding through the grass. Kyle Busch had a couple of slide-offs as well. Brad K was just on and off the track all day long, but managed to pull it together for a 5th place finish. Overall, the last 5 laps of the race were very, very intense. But outside of that, it was just an average road course race. There was, guys getting off the track. There was pit strategy involved. There was weather caution. I was kind of hoping we'd see the rain tires come in, but it was just a brief sprinkle. And that really changed the complexion of the race. I think that broke Chase Elliott's momentum. If that caution doesn't come out, I think Chase wins the race. That caution come out, everybody kind of did their thing on the tire strategy. Everybody took the slicks. Chase got a little bit behind, and that was that. So overall, like I said, it was a more competitive race than Daytona was, but Daytona had that big crash. The 500, that is. Both were at Daytona, of course. But the 500 had that big crash. It took out half the field at the beginning and made it just a single file line till the last couple laps. Kind of the same on the road course, but I do think that that it was a more competitive race than what they'd had back in August when they raced there for the first time. So I was very happy with this race, especially the end of it, as more and more cars were. You had different pit strategies. You had guys that took 4, guys that took 2, and guys that stayed out. And it made a very, very interesting race. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Come back tomorrow, Monday, of course, to watch the... I guess we're probably going to just go ahead and tear into one of those hobby boxes of 2020 Donruss. So anyway, this has been the review of, they keep changing these names on me, the O'Reilly Auto Parts 253 at Daytona International Speedway Road Course. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday, probably early Monday evening now. So we'll see you again tomorrow, and have a great day.